My mother, Connie Sutton, was not only a thoughtful and caring parent, but she also was a tremendously influential anthropologist. And her last project, which she was working on when she passed, was a collection of essays that reflected her long career in anthropology. Since then, we have come together, her students, her colleagues, and her family, to reflect on the influence of her work on us professionally, personally, and politically. And we present you with those thoughts along with her essays in this collection. The title, Changing Continuities, was one of her favorite phrases. She always used it in her research in Barbados and Nigeria to capture that indissoluble relationship between past and present that she saw in people's lives as well as in her own life.
Connie was among those very first cohorts of American graduate students from Columbia University who began to conduct field work in the Anglophone Caribbean in the mid-1950s. Her dissertation was titled The Scene of the Action, a Wildcat Strike in Barbados. And this was an event analysis of the first island-wide strike of sugar workers in 1958 within the context of a community study in rural Barbados. At the time when Connie was conducting this research, there was really very little scholarship on particular moments of collective action in specific places, and especially outside of Europe. So her study was truly original and also prescient in relation to concerns that would become very important within anthropology and Caribbean studies more broadly.
Connie's work in Ellerton had already alerted us to the fact that Barbados was a place where we could explore and challenge some of the emerging formulations in anthropology that posited that women were universally and inevitably subordinate to men. And it became a major theme of work that we did together. Connie and I both experienced in returning to New York after spending time in Barbados the fact that many of the people whom we had known and worked with in Barbados were showing up in New York. As Sam Sutton phrased it, she brought Barbados back to New York with her. This recognition of how Barbadians were emigrating while also maintaining strong ties at home made us begin to think about this movement as bidirectional, and it allowed us to see the beginnings of something that became a very prominent field in anthropology, and that's transnationalism.
She was one of the first people to realize, to try to theorize, and to understand, to grasp, and to participate in these multiple diasporas in which Barbadians were implicated, and which each element in that diaspora left a link, established a link, which was a transnational link. Connie was a scholar activist. She believed that she was exercising her anthropology, her anthropological training, her anthropological activity in the service of a much wider community than just her students. The activist part was essential to her because she always believed that the use of anthropology was to achieve something, to make a difference in action in the world.